FIU's tennis team keeping the streak alive in a battle versus fellow South Florida school on the courts.
One of basketball's biggest personalities making a difference when it comes to shooting and the future of the sport in DC.
And a worldwide game taking center stage under the lights in South Florida. All of this and more on The Sideline.
Hello South Florida and welcome to The Sideline, the place where you get all the highlights for your South Florida sports teams. I'm Zeth Leon.
And I'm Carlton Gillespie, and The Sideline starts now.
The FIU women's tennis team took on the University of South Florida this weekend.
The Sunshine State Showdown was one for the books. Kamora Miller has more about how the match went.
It's match day for the FIU women's tennis team as they take on another Florida rival, USF. The ladies are locked in and are playing their hardest as they have a racket in hand.
When you do a nice detail and it gets celebrated, it gives you even more confidence to do it again maybe. If we can help create a little bit of an atmosphere for them, then that's awesome.
I think I just can't stay away from this team. I graduated last year, but honestly I miss it so much. And every opportunity I have to come here and support them, I just use it. Job of being united, of having that team spirit out there, and it's just a pleasure to watch them playing, to watch them fighting, competing, cheering for each other. I don't know, it just gives me a very nice feeling.
The FIU women's tennis team has recently been named in the top 25 and now are listed in the top 40 for the Intercollegiate Tennis Association.
I came out here to support my good friends on the team. I have been fortunate enough to be able to be roommates with them my spring semester when I transferred here. And so I came to every single match game and I've learned tennis. Just coming out here to support them has always been great.
Great to have fans here. They really help us and they bring the energy, and we are glad that someone comes to watch our matches.
It means the world to them. They feel more pumped up and they feel that they're doing something good for the community, and it's very amazing to be Panther.
The Sunshine State Showdown was a must-see for Panther fans as they came out to support the women's tennis team. The ladies are now on a 13th win streak and want to continue to rest their bodies until their next match. This is Kamora Miller reporting for Caplin News.
Miami played their second of 3 straight road games last night. This time their destination was Indiana. Despite having 4 different 20-point scorers and churning it up in the second half, it wasn't enough for the Heat to overcome their slow start. The Pacers defended their home court and took down Miami 117-115. The Heat will play their final road game of the season in Atlanta tomorrow.
The old saying goes that every time you go to a baseball game, you'll see something you've never seen before. This Sunday, that thing was a Marlins win as they earned their first victory of the season on the road against the St. Louis Cardinals. Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Nick Gordon both hit 3-run home runs in the first inning to give the Fish an early lead. Max Meyer was excellent, throwing 6 dazzling innings, only allowing 1 run. The final score was Miami 10, St. Louis 3. The Marlins head to New York to take on the Yankees in a 3-game series starting Monday.
The Florida Panthers dropped another rivalry game ahead of the playoffs. Matthew Tkachuk got the scoring going early with a goal 37 seconds in, but the Bruins would answer right back. Boston held the lead 2-1 in the third. However, Alexander Barkov tied the game to send it to overtime. The Bruins came out victorious in overtime 3-2. Florida has 4 games left, all at home, before the start of the playoffs.
All eyes are on the Valley in Phoenix, Arizona, where the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game will take place after crucial Final Four matchups over this past weekend. Number 1 ranked Purdue, behind Zach Edey's 20 points and 12 boards, pulled away from the underdog NC State to reach their first title game appearance since 1980. The Boilermakers toppled the Wolfpack with a final score of 63-50. On the other side of the bracket, the 1-seeded UConn held off a valiant effort from the Alabama Crimson Tide as 5 players scored in double figures to help the Huskies dance on. UConn looks to become the first team to go back-to-back in the Big Dance since Florida in 2006 and 2007. The final score was UConn 86, Alabama 72. The title game will be played tonight.
If you follow basketball in social media, you may have heard of Lethal Shooter and his work in perfecting the jump shot. But as Sideline's Pablo Hernandez reports, he's also making a difference with an All-American game for high school hoopers in the DMV.
Online celebrity Chris Lethal Shooter Matthews hosted the very first ever locked-in All-American showcase in order to show the world how great boys and girl basketball players are from the DMV. Matthews is known mostly as a basketball influencer that does crazy shooting challenges online. However, there is a side to him that cares for his former hometown in the DMV. His goal for starting this event was to bring awareness to the student athletes that may never have a chance of getting national recognition anywhere else. One of the players that was chosen to participate within the game was Florida State University commit AJ Swinton. Swinton talked about his experience in the Locked In Showcase.
Blessed, not like, I don't think like blessed is even the word. It's like, it's crazy because I knew Chris like way before, like when he was working up at Pat the Rock. When he was working up at Pat the Rock. So I just feel blessed to be able to watch his growth and, you know, just to be able to be a part of it.
This event also helped Matthews give back to the community that raised him and gave him a shot at becoming who he is today. Matthews spoke more about his goals.
As you guys know, I'm DMV born. The main goal is to give back to the community. So I have free training at Emory Rec. I have free training at College Park Community Center. I have free training at Langdon Park. And the reason why I do this is because it's about the entire DMV. It's not just about one group of kids. So when I did this, it was just to give these kids as well my platform to show how great they are. So I'm excited for the world to see this post.
With the first Locked In All-American Showcase, Chris Matthews hopes to continue to give back to the DMV and hopefully expand even further. Reporting from Washington, D.C., for Caplin News, this is Pablo Hernandez.
Zeth, big weekend in sports, and unfortunately, in every sports matchup, there are winners and there are losers. So we have our W's and L's. I'm going to go ahead and start first. Yeah. My W, where else can you go? The NCAA Women's College Final, South Carolina and Iowa. What a game. Caitlin Clark went crazy in the first half. South Carolina just wore them down and beat them down over it. It was a sold-out crowd, great energy. I know I was watching at home. I watched every second. I thought it was spectacular. Huge tournament for the women, and what an excellent final game to end it up. What was your biggest W?
Yeah, also, speaking of that, what an unbelievable job by South Carolina, undefeated season.
Huge.
And taking it all the way to a championship, well-deserved for them. My biggest W is Sketch, living out every fan's dream, you know, getting to throw the ball with C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. You know, he's a Texans fan and he's throwing the ball, you know, with Texans players and playing with them. That's awesome for him.
Yeah, and a big W for me. I just learned that he is a streamer, and that was a very cool old man moment for me. My biggest L is going to go to, and unfortunately we just celebrated their first W of the season, but the Miami Marlins, who reports came out that 4 months ago they voided the 2025, the last year of Skip Schumacher's contract. The man just won NL Manager of the Year. They just led the team to the first playoff berth in 21 years, and they have a dismal start to open the season, and then you announce you're going to let a fan favorite manager potentially walk after this season. A head scratcher, nothing else I can say but huge L.
Yeah, typical of the Marlins this season so far, you know, as we've seen. You know, one streamer is living out the dream, another one's living a nightmare. You know, Speed decided to bark up the wrong tree in WrestleMania this weekend, and he ended up paying for it, getting RKO'd by Randy Orton. That's a tough way to go. I mean, a big moment for Speed, but not as, you know, painful as you would like. We have to go to break, but here's what's next on the sideline.
This is the 23rd year that we've been out here playing night cricket, and if you look around, there's happy people, they're having a great time, you're getting a little taste of home if you're from someplace in a cricket, and it's all right here in the city of Lauderdale.
Under the night sky, the light shines on one of the world's most popular sports. We'll take a timeout and be back in a moment.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Home runs, strikeouts, and double plays? No. In Lauderhill, it's wickets, overs, and dot balls. Cricket is the old ball game that they play there, and Sideline's own Anthony Milian is there to tell us all about it.
In America, baseball is known as the all-time classic, but here in Lauderhill, Florida, it seems to be cricket, as they've makeshifted a baseball field into a cricket field for their annual night cricket tournament. The City of Lauderhill's Night Cricket Tournament is an annual event from March to May that brings in people from various different cultures and nations to enjoy the beautiful game of cricket.
It means a lot. This is a big tournament for our community. Like, a lot of people do come out. So it means a lot to gain that support from the community to even play the sport that I love.
Locals come out to enjoy the event, but it's not just about the cricket. There's food, music, and vibes that truly accentuate the culture of the local community of Lauderhill and all of its people.
This is the 23rd year that we've been out here playing night cricket. And if you look around, there's happy people. They're having a great time. They're getting a little taste of home if they're from someplace in a cricket-playing country. And it's all right here in the city of Lauderhill where everybody is welcome.
The people just can't seem to get enough of night cricket as they keep on coming back. But as the city of Lauderhill grows, the game of cricket does as well. And the night cricket event continues to have the same goal, spreading the game of cricket around South Florida. Night cricket allows the community of Lauderhill to come together and enjoy the sport they love. Night cricket games will continue every Saturday to the final on May 8th. With Kaplan News, I'm Anthony Milian.
Carlton, we were speaking about the women's tournament earlier. Now let's take it to the men's tournament. We got a big game tonight, UConn versus Purdue. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to take that one?
Yeah, it's a big game that's going to be dominated by a big guy. Zach Edey's got to be the storyline. He's the best player, but I just think this UConn team is so complete that I'm sure Zach Edey will go out. How do you stop the man? Is a human Frankenstein, but I don't know how Purdue is going to deal with the team element of UConn. So many great players, and I think UConn goes back to back and repeats.
Yeah, Purdue's looking to get their first title ever. UConn, obviously, they've been there before and done it. And Purdue's also looking to win the first title for the Big Ten since 2000. Yeah. It's been a while, but I can't go with the upset here. I'm going to go with UConn. They just have looked too good throughout this tournament. I'm looking for them to go back-to-back, first time since like 07, 06. I think it was that crazy for them.
And like a Drake album, this desk is for the dogs. We got other professional basketball going on too, right? Yeah. We got Miami Heat. They're on the road. They've got the Hawks on Tuesday, Dallas on Wednesday, and then Toronto on Friday. Pretty tough 3-game spread. What do you like in those three?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Heat. They just lost a tough one on the road. They got one more road game in Atlanta, and then they close out the season at home, similar to the Panthers. So I'm gonna go with the Heat to close it out and sweep and secure their spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I like that. Just for no logic, no deep analysis for me. It's April. It's Heat basketball time.
Exactly.
Like, this is when they turn it on, right? Yeah. So they're going to start piling on wins and start to look a lot better and surprise people like they always do come playoff time. So give me the Heat 3-0 this week.
Now we got the Panthers. They play the Ottawa Senators on Tuesday and the Columbus Blue Jackets on Thursday. Who do you got?
Yeah, let's be honest. The Senators and the Blue Jackets are not the cream of the crop in the NHL. They're certainly not up to the level that the Panthers are capable of playing at after a super frustrating loss in overtime against Boston. Yeah. I think it's a revenge moment for the Panthers. Close those two out at home.
I completely agree with you. I'm going to go with the Panthers. Finish the season at home, as I said, similar to the Heat. He got one road game, and then they finish out the season at home. I think they're going to do well there. Same for the Panthers. I think they're going to finish out the season at home and play well.
Yeah, but we've got a bit of international footy going on, right? Inter Miami is heading down to Monterrey on Wednesday for a CONCACAF Champions Cup. It's a second leg of the quarterfinal, but obviously the big news, who else? Messi played on the game against the Colorado Rapids this past weekend, so likely will be healthy. That's got to factor into your decision for that game.
100%. Messi's back. Inter Miami gets a dub. It's easy as that.
Yeah, if Mr. M is back, flip it around. It's a W.
Yes.
Just a reminder that if you want to keep up with us for fun updates, fun segments, and more from our crew, you can follow our Instagram for all things Sideline. Follow us at sideline.caplin.
That's it for today. I'm Zeth Leon.
And I'm Carlton Gillespie. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on The Sideline.